First up, the 1935 bad condition wheat penny may not appear impressive at first glance, especially when heavily worn or damaged. But looks can be deceiving. Minted during the throes of the Great Depression, this coin represents a challenging period in American history. With a mintage of over 245 million at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1935 wheat penny was a common coin in its time. The obverse features the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1935. The reverse boasts the classic wheat ears design, flanking the denomination and the motto, E pluribus unum. Even in poor condition, this penny holds significant historical value. It circulated widely in an era when every cent was precious, serving as a reminder of the resilience and resourcefulness of Americans during hard times. Coins in bad condition often have stories to tell, as they have traveled through countless hands, witnessing everyday life during one of the most challenging periods in U.S. history. For collectors, even heavily worn 1935 wheat pennies serve as tangible links to the past. They're a reminder of a time when people relied on every penny, whether to buy a loaf of bread or save for the future. One aspect to consider with the 1935 wheat penny is its availability. Being minted in large quantities, this coin is relatively common. However, the condition significantly impacts its value. A 1935 wheat penny in poor condition might only be worth its face value or slightly more to a casual collector. However, to history enthusiasts or those who appreciate coins for their narratives, even a heavily worn piece can hold sentimental or educational value. Many collectors cherish such coins as part of a broader effort to document American history through currency. The 1935 wheat penny is also a great entry point for beginners in the coin collecting hobby. Its affordability and historical significance make it an excellent teaching tool for new collectors who want to learn about grading, minting, and the historical context of coins. For instance, examining the wear patterns on a 1935 wheat penny can provide insights into how coins deteriorate over time, especially when subjected to heavy circulation. Collectors can also study the variations in mint marks and understand how minting practices evolved during the early 20th century. For those interested in restoring or preserving coins, a bad condition 1935 wheat penny offers opportunities for experimentation. While cleaning coins is generally discouraged in the numismatic community, learning proper preservation techniques can help maintain the integrity of a coin without damaging its historical value. Beginners can practice these skills on low-value coins, like the 1935 wheat penny, before applying them to more valuable pieces. When it comes to identifying counterfeit coins, even a bad condition 1935 wheat penny can be educational. Collectors can learn to recognize authentic characteristics, such as the font style, spacing of the inscriptions, and the overall design. Comparing a worn 1935 wheat penny to a known counterfeit can highlight subtle differences, helping collectors develop a critical eye. Next up, the year 1949 was an era of optimism and rebuilding for the United States. The country was transitioning out of the challenges of World War II and into a period of economic growth and prosperity. Coinage from this time reflects a renewed sense of national pride and purpose. The Lincoln wheat penny, originally introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was a staple of everyday transactions. By 1949, this iconic coin had been in circulation for 40 years, becoming a familiar and trusted symbol of American resilience and history. The obverse of the 1949 Lincoln wheat penny features the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was revolutionary when it debuted, as it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Surrounding Lincoln's bust are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1949. The reverse showcases two wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent and the Latin motto E pluribus unum, translating to out of many, one. The simplicity and elegance of this design have made it a favorite among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. What sets the 1949 clip plancher wheat penny apart is its fascinating minting error. A clip plancher error occurs during the production process when the metal blanks, planchets are improperly punched out of the metal sheet. This results in a coin with a missing crescent-shaped or straight-edged section. The size and location of the clip can vary, creating unique and highly sought-after variations. Some clips are subtle, while others are more dramatic, with larger portions of the coin missing. In the case of the 1949 wheat penny, collectors particularly value examples where the clip does not obscure key design elements like Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions. To truly appreciate the significance of this error, it's important to understand the minting process. Coins are struck from metal sheets using high-pressure dies. Before striking, the sheets are fed into a punching machine to create planchets. If the sheet is misaligned or overlaps with a previously punched area, the resulting planchet will have a clip. This type of error is relatively rare, as quality control measures usually catch such defects before the coins enter circulation. However, when these coins do slip through the cracks, they become prized collectibles. The value of a 1949 clip planchet wheat penny depends on several factors, including the size and location of the clip, the coin's overall condition, and the presence of other errors. In general, minor clips might fetch $20 to $50, while more pronounced examples can command several $100s. Coins that are well preserved or have additional errors such as die cracks or doubled dies are even more valuable. For collectors specializing in error coins, the 1949 clip planchet wheat penny represents a perfect blend of historical significance and manufacturing anomaly. The year 1952 was part of a post-World War II era that saw significant cultural and economic growth in the United States. The Korean War was ongoing, and the American people were looking toward a future of prosperity and innovation. Pennies minted during this period were part of the daily lives of Americans, used in countless transactions, and serving as a reminder of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which started in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, was a staple of American coinage, and by 1952, it had been in circulation for over 4 decades. Now let's dive into the design features of the 1952 wheat penny. The obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner. This iconic image of Lincoln was groundbreaking when it first appeared in 1909, as it was the first time a U.S. coin depicted a real historical figure. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1952 to the right. On the reverse, you'll find 2 stylized wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent, and the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many one. The reverse design, simple yet elegant, symbolizes unity and abundance. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1952 brown shade wheat penny is its coloration. While most wheat pennies were minted with a bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, environmental factors such as oxidation, heat, and exposure to chemicals can alter a coin's appearance over time. The result is a wide range of shades, from reddish brown to deep chocolate tones, with the brown shade being particularly appealing to many collectors. This natural patina gives each coin a unique character, turning a simple penny into a miniature work of art. In terms of mintage, the 1952 wheat penny was struck in large quantities across 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 186 million coins. The Denver Mint struck approximately 746 million, and the San Francisco Mint contributed about 137 million. Combined, this makes the 1952 wheat penny one of the more common dates in the series. However, condition and rarity still play a significant role in determining a coin's value, especially for those with unique features like the brown shade patina. When it comes to market value, the 1952 brown shade wheat penny's worth depends heavily on its condition, coloration, and any unique characteristics. Coins in average circulated condition typically sell for a few cents to $1. However, those in higher grades, such as MS-65 or above, can fetch significantly more, sometimes reaching $15 to $50 or even higher for coins with particularly attractive toning or exceptional eye appeal. Collectors place a premium on well-preserved examples with minimal wear, sharp details, and original luster. Next up, The year 1925 was part of a period of great change and growth in the United States. The country was in the midst of the Roaring Twenties, an era marked by economic prosperity, cultural shifts, and technological advancements. Jazz music was taking the nation by storm. Women had recently gained the right to vote, and the automobile industry was booming. Amidst this backdrop of progress, the humble wheat penny continued to serve as a daily reminder of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy and the values he stood for. By 1925, the Lincoln wheat penny had been in circulation for 16 years, having debuted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Now, let's move on to the design features of the 1925 wheat penny. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This was a groundbreaking design choice at the time, as it marked the first appearance of a real historical figure on a U.S. coin. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1925 to the right. The reverse of the coin showcases two stylized wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent. And the Latin motto "E pluribus unum," which translates to "out of many, one." The simplicity and elegance of this design have made it a timeless classic, cherished by collectors for over a century. One of the key aspects that make the 1925 wheat penny in fine condition stand out is its state of preservation. Coins in fine condition show moderate wear, but retain all major details of the design. Lincoln's portrait, for example, remains clear and well-defined, while the wheat ears on the reverse are still easily recognizable. This level of preservation adds to the coin's appeal, especially when compared to heavily worn examples that have lost much of their original detail. In terms of mintage, the 1925 wheat penny was produced in large quantities across 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, produced a staggering 139,949,000 pennies that year. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark, produced 22,580,000 coins, while the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, struck 26,380,000. Despite these high mintage numbers, finding a 1925 wheat penny in fine condition or better can still be a challenge, as many coins from this era were heavily circulated and subjected to the wear and tear of everyday use. When it comes to market value, the 1925 wheat penny's worth varies depending on its condition and mint mark. In fine condition, a 1925 penny from the Philadelphia Mint typically sells for around $50 to $1. Coins from the Denver and San Francisco mints, being scarcer, command higher prices, ranging from $1.50 to $3 or more. Uncirculated examples in pristine condition can fetch significantly higher prices, often exceeding $50, especially for coins with exceptional eye, appeal, or rare varieties. Next up, the year 1924 was a significant period in American history. The United States was experiencing the aftermath of World War I and the economic prosperity of the Roaring Twenties. This era saw advancements in technology, culture, and industrialization, while prohibition laws shaped the social landscape. Calvin Coolidge was serving as president, promoting a laissez-faire approach to governance and fostering economic growth. Amid this dynamic backdrop, the 1924 wheat penny was minted, a humble yet enduring symbol of American resilience and progress. Now let's examine the design features of the 1924 wheat penny. The obverse, or front side, features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design, introduced in 1909, commemorated the centennial of Lincoln's birth and marked the first time a U.S. coin featured a real historical figure. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," while Liberty is positioned to his left and the date 1924 to his right. The reverse side showcases 2 stylized wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent and the Latin motto "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one." This timeless design remained unchanged throughout the wheat penny's production, making it a cherished staple of American coinage. What sets the 1924 brown shade wheat penny apart is its distinctive color and patina. Over time, the copper composition of the coin naturally oxidizes, creating a rich brown tone that adds character and uniqueness. This brown shade is highly valued by collectors, as it reflects the coin's age and authenticity while preserving its intricate details. Coins with a consistent and attractive brown patina are particularly sought after, as they exhibit both aesthetic appeal and historical significance. In terms of mintage, the 1924 wheat penny was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 7,578,000 coins, the Denver Mint produced 2,520,000, and the San Francisco Mint minted 11,696,000. The significantly lower mintage numbers from the Denver and San Francisco mints make these variations scarcer and more desirable among collectors. While the Philadelphia issue is more common, high-grade examples are still highly valued.
Quarter series began in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, this coin's iconic design, featuring Washington's profile on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse, has remained a mainstay of American currency for decades. By 1967, however, the economic realities of the time had shifted the coin's composition away from silver. In the mid-1960s, rising silver prices led to widespread hoarding of coins, creating a national coin shortage. In response, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which removed silver from dimes and quarters and introduced a copper-nickel-clad composition. The 1967 Washington quarter is composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This change ensured the affordability and availability of coins for everyday transactions. The 1967 quarter was struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But, like other quarters produced between 1965 and 1967, it does not bear a mint mark. This was a deliberate decision by the US Mint to discourage hoarding during the coin shortage. Consequently, there is no way to distinguish between quarters struck at the two facilities. In total, the Mint produced over 1.5 billion Washington quarters in 1967. Given this high mintage, most 1967 quarters found today are common and worth only their face value in circulated condition. However, coins in fine condition, those showing light to moderate wear with well-preserved details, may hold some collectible value. Quarters in this grade are often sought by beginner collectors or those interested in assembling year sets of US coins. For higher-grade examples, such as coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, values can range from $5 to $25, depending on the coin's luster, strike quality, and overall appearance. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC are particularly desirable and can fetch even higher prices, especially if they exhibit exceptional sharpness and minimal imperfections. Error coins from 1967 are another area of interest for collectors. While errors from this year are not as common as those from other periods, examples such as off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on incorrect planchets can add significant value. Depending on the type and severity of the error, these coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you suspect you have an error coin, it's worth having it evaluated by a professional numismatist. The 1967 Washington quarters serves as a historical reminder of the economic challenges and solutions of its time. While it lacks the intrinsic value of earlier silver quarters, it represents a practical and durable solution to the coin shortages of the 1960s. For collectors, it offers an opportunity to explore a fascinating chapter in US coinage history. Next up, the Washington Quarter series was introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Sculptor John Flanagan designed the coin with its iconic profile of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. By 1982, the coin's composition had long been changed from the original 90% silver to a more economical copper-nickel-clad composition, which was implemented after the Coinage Act of 1965. The 1982 Washington quarter is composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This durable and cost-effective composition became the standard for quarters and other coins like dimes and half dollars. The shift to copper-nickel-clad helped the US Mint manage rising metal costs and ensured the continued production of coins for circulation. In 1982, the US Mint produced quarters at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. Philadelphia coins lack a mint mark, while Denver quarters are marked with a D. Combined, the two mints struck hundreds of millions of quarters that year, 504 million in Philadelphia and 480 million in Denver. As a result, the 1982 quarter is generally considered common, though it holds some interest for collectors due to its historical context. One notable aspect of 1982 quarters is the absence of proof sets for collectors. The Mint did not produce standard proof sets or uncirculated sets in 1982 and 1983, leading many collectors to seek out high-quality coins from circulation. This makes well-preserved examples from these years slightly more desirable compared to other modern quarters. In fine condition, a grade indicating light to moderate wear with well-preserved details, the 1982 quarter typically holds little numismatic premium and is valued at or near its face value of 25 cents. However, higher-grade coins in insignificant values can fetch more significant values. For example, coins graded MS65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC can sell for $10 to $25, with prices increasing for coins exhibiting exceptional luster and strike quality. Next up, let's take a closer look at the 1988 Silver Washington Quarter, which was part of the ongoing U.S. Quarter series. The Washington Quarter, featuring the first President of the United States, George Washington, was introduced in 1932 to commemorate his 200th birthday. This coin has seen many different designs and changes over the decades, but in 1988, it remained part of the standard series that collectors still hunt for today. The Washington Quarter originally replaced the Standing Liberty Quarter and became an iconic symbol of U.S. currency. Since then, it has been minted with various designs, but the version we're looking at today is part of the general circulation quarters from 1988. So what makes the 1988 quarters special? Well, in terms of metal content, this is where it gets interesting. The regular 1988 Washington quarters, like most quarters minted since 1965, are made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, which means they aren't silver. However, there were some special collector's editions of silver quarters struck for sets, including the proof and silver proof versions. These silver quarters contain 90% silver, but the ones circulating in 1988 were not silver. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see an eagle perched on an olive branch, just like in earlier Washington quarters. It also says E pluribus unum and $quarter, denoting its value. But despite its relatively standard appearance, it's important to remember that the 1988 Washington Quarter holds value for collectors, especially in fine condition. Now, when it comes to determining the value of a 1988 Washington Quarter, it all comes down to its condition. If you have a coin that's in fine condition, you'll see some moderate wear on the design, but the details are still clearly visible. In this state, the 1988 quarter is typically worth just a little more than face value, around 25 to 50 cents. However, if you have a higher grade coin, say a coin in uncirculated condition or a proof version, the value can jump considerably. An uncirculated 1988 Washington quarter could range from $1.25 to $3 or more, depending on market conditions and demand. For those silver-proof coins which are much rarer, they can fetch anywhere from $10 to $20 or even higher if graded well. So, if you're looking at your 1988 quarter and wondering about its worth, be sure to check its condition carefully. Coins that show little to no wear will be more valuable in the long run, especially when they are well preserved. To wrap it up, the 1988 Washington Quarter is a key coin for collectors, but its value is largely dependent on its condition. Whether you have a stack of them or you're just starting out as a numismatist, always remember to check the grade before assuming how much it's worth. Next up, the Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Ever since then, the design has gone through a few changes, but the 1984 quarter is part of the regular series and features the classic design that has been in use since 1932. The front, or obverse, shows the profile of George Washington, the first President of the United States, and the words, "Liberty, in God we trust, and the year of minting." This is the hallmark of the series that continues to this day. On the reverse side, you will see an eagle perched on an olive branch, which symbolizes peace, strength, and freedom. The coin also features the words, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, and $quarter, indicating its value. Now, let's talk about the metal composition. The 1984 Washington Quarter, like most quarters struck after 1965, is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means it doesn't contain silver. The coin is 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, which gives it a durable and solid feel. Unlike some earlier quarters, which were made of 90% silver, the 1984 coin doesn't have that precious metal value, but it still has its worth as a collectible and part of the regular US currency. So, what is the value of a 1984 quarter? In general, these coins are worth about face value, which is 25 cents, if they are in circulated condition. However, their value can increase depending on their grade and whether they are in uncirculated or proof condition. A coin in fine or average condition might be worth just a little more than face value, around 30 to 50 cents. But if you have an uncirculated coin, one that has been kept in pristine condition without any wear or damage, it could be worth $1 or more. Additionally, if you happen to own a proof version of the 1984 quarter, which was specially made for collectors, the value can be higher. Proof coins are struck with extra care and typically have a shiny mirror-like finish. These can range from $5 to $10, or more depending on their condition and rarity. For those looking for a rare and valuable piece, the 1984 silver proof version, which was part of a special set, could be worth around $20 or more, especially if it's been professionally graded as being in excellent condition. Next up. It became one of the most recognizable coins in the United States, and since its debut, the design has remained largely the same. The 1980 Washington quarter is no exception, maintaining the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, or front side of the coin. On the obverse you will find Washington's profile, surrounded by the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of minting, which in this case is 1980. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, and it has remained on the quarter without major changes since its introduction in 1932. Turning the coin over, the reverse side features an eagle perched on an olive branch, symbolizing peace and strength. You'll also see the inscription E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one, and the words quarter dollar, denoting the coin's face value of 25 cents. Now, let's talk about the composition and value of the 1980 Washington quarter. Like many of the quarters minted after 1965, the 1980 quarter is made of a copper-nickel clad composition. It consists of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, which makes it durable and resistant to wear. Unlike earlier quarters made of 90% silver, the 1980 coin does not contain any silver, which means it doesn't have the same precious metal value. In terms of its market value, the 1980 Washington quarter in fine condition is worth slightly more than face value. A coin in fine condition shows some wear, but most of the design details, including the features of George Washington and the eagle, remain visible. Typically, a 1980 quarter in fine condition might be valued at around 30 to 50 cents. If you have a 1980 quarter that's in higher grade condition, such as uncirculated or mint state, the value can increase. Uncirculated coins are those that have not been used in circulation and show no signs of wear. A well-preserved 1980 quarter in uncirculated condition could fetch anywhere from $1.50 to $3 or even more, depending on the market and demand. Proof versions of the 1980 quarter, which were specially minted for collectors, can be even more valuable. These proof coins have a polished, mirror-like finish and were struck with more care to provide a higher quality result. A proof version of the 1980 Washington quarter could be worth anywhere from $5 to $10 or more, depending on its condition and whether it has been professionally graded. Although the 1980 quarter is not made of silver, there are still certain versions that collectors seek out, including proof coins and any examples in pristine, uncirculated condition. Additionally, some quarters may have minting errors or unique characteristics that could increase their value in the collector market. To wrap it up, the 1980 Washington quarter, while not a silver coin, still holds value, especially for collectors interested in well-preserved examples. In fine condition, it might be worth just slightly more than face value, but if you have a higher grade or proof version, you could be looking at a coin worth a few dollars or more.